Today on Civil War History on the Road, we're visiting New York State's famous Erie Canal.
We've all heard of the Erie Canal and its role in opening the young American nation to growth and economic prosperity. But few know of its role during the American Civil War, or of what that role might have been if two of the war's most important events had unfolded differently. Begun on 4 July 1817 in Rome, New York, the canal's 1825 completion was celebrated when the Seneca Chief canal boat brought east a cask of Lake Erie water to be poured into the Hudson River in the famous Wedding of the Waters. Linking the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean for the first time, the canal enabled New York's population surge and rise as an economic powerhouse. It literally created the Empire State that provided the Union some 400,000 soldiers, of whom 54,000 paid the ultimate price. 363 miles long, the canal featured 83 locks that allowed boats to make the 571-foot elevation change between Albany and Buffalo. 4 feet deep, 40 feet wide, and with 90-foot-long locks, thousands of passengers and untold tons of goods began flowing east and west through New York. Along the route, towns sprang up and grew rapidly, and its Great Lakes terminus port of Buffalo grew into a major American city. Americans from New England flowed westward, while the canal's access brought to the region new European immigrants, particularly from Germany and Ireland. When the Civil War began in 1860, the Erie Canal was 35 years old. During that time, the newfangled railroad had taken away most of the canal's passenger traffic and was cutting deeply into its goods traffic too. Not only could the railroad move passengers and goods faster than canal boats, but rail lines could be more cheaply, quickly, and flexibly built, going places and along routes impossible for canals to traverse. As a result, the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad had long ago replaced the Erie Canal as the nation's main transportation route, linking the Atlantic East Coast to the rapidly expanding Midwest. The Erie Canal's best days were behind her. Even so, the canal remained the Union's chief venue for moving goods, particularly grain, to and from the Great Lakes. In 1855 alone, the Erie Canal had moved over 20 million bushels of flour, the most for any port in the entire world. The number would only grow as a result of the war's demands. Given this, the Erie Canal was due for an infrastructure upgrade, which was completed during the Civil War's second year of 1862. In this first major expansion, dredging deepened the canal by 3 feet. Its banks were widened by 30 feet, and its locks were improved with new technology and lengthened to 20 feet. Once completed, the route was now 7 feet deep, 70 feet wide, and featured 110-foot-long locks. Now more and larger boats could ply the canal, carrying greater amounts of goods between the Hudson and the Great Lakes. The canal's new capabilities added immediately to the Union war effort. Suddenly, unexpectedly needing to quickly move hundreds of thousands of troops south to the war's front, only the railroad would do. But moving these masses of high-priority new passengers meant the railroads had to forego carrying important goods, risking damaging the North's economy by causing shortages, ruining crops as they waited to be moved to markets, and more. Enter the Erie Canal and the nation's other canal systems. By picking up transit of these goods, the Erie Canal and its sister routes relieved pressure on the railroad and helped keep the Union's economy humming. In particular, the canal's role preserving the flow of Midwest grain to mills and bakeries in the Northeast ensured the North could feed its massive new armies without taking food from civilians, as happened frequently in the Southern Confederacy. Even so, the Erie Canal might have become even more vital to the Union's war effort had either of two important military campaigns unfolded differently. Simply looking at a map of the Union reveals one of the North's great strategic weaknesses, that the B&O Railroad line, which linked the Union's eastern and western halves, was in places well under 100 miles from Confederate territory and within reasonable striking distance of Southern armies. This fact was not lost on Confederate President Jefferson Davis or his Army of Northern Virginia Chief, General Robert E. Lee. Lee made severing this vital rail line one of the South's key strategic objectives in both of his invasions of the North, the September 1862 Maryland campaign and the June-July 1863 campaign into Pennsylvania. In fact, one of these campaigns, and perhaps both, included plans for destroying the rail line's critical Susquehanna River Railroad Bridge near Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Although Union victories at the Battle of Antietam in 1862 and Gettysburg in 1863 ensured this never came to pass, had Lee succeeded in breaking this vital railroad line, the Erie Canal route would have become the North's only major route linking the Union's east and western portions. The Erie Canal's New York location, some 300 miles farther north than the B&O Railroad's main line, placed it well beyond Confederate military reach. So secure was this location that it eliminated the need to assign guards to its 363-mile route and vital locks, freeing men to join Union forces fighting Lee's army in Virginia and elsewhere. Today, the Erie Canal is a peaceful vacation destination for thousands of boaters, hikers, and history fans. Next time you're in New York, visit one of the many remaining historic locations along the canal's path and remember the quiet yet vital role the Erie Canal played in our American Civil War.